Hello and welcome. In this video, I have for you a keyboard review. As I'm trying to expand the content coverage on this channel, we're going to be doing a variety of different tech accessories, as well as gaming laptops, gaming accessories, and generalized tech as well. So today I have for you, this is the MX Keys Mini from Logitech. Now, this was released a little while ago, but I haven't been able to get it into my hands until now. So this is a very nice keyboard. It's Bluetooth single mode, so that means you're not going to have tri-mode connectivity here, like USB, USB-C for wired connectivity, a Wi-Fi dongle for Wi-Fi connectivity, and of course Bluetooth, which is the mainstay of this keyboard. The claim to fame of this keyboard is it's nice and thin. It's easy to carry around. It's pocketable. You can see it's quite thin, except for the hump back here, which is the battery. And what's more unique about this keyboard is it's got these dome-shaped keys. So if you see here, there's a little indent into each key, which makes it, quite nice to position your keys and actually type. It isn't a mechanical keyboard, so let's get that out of the way for those of you who may have that question. But it is more a replacement keyboard akin to the Magic Keyboard that you see from Apple, for example. So if you have a laptop or a desktop and you want something that's a very slim profile, very light, Bluetooth oriented, that you can also take on the go for your laptop, perhaps even your iPad or even your Android or your iPhone, this will cut the bill. So you can see here we've got 3 keys at the top with numbered 1, 2, 3. So that means up to 3 devices can be simultaneously paired to this, and you can toggle between each device to use this keyboard. What is also nice about this is we've got legends here on these keys, both for Mac and Windows. Thank you for that, Logitech. For those of us who use both systems, whether at work, whether at home, for content production, what have you, it's very nice to have all of these legends here. I think the only one that's missing, which would have made me very happy, would have been the Linux, the legends. But again, that said, they use the super key, so it's pretty much the same as Windows. Not too much to say there. But overall, the size of this keyboard is absolutely fantastic. I love the shape and the dome of the keys. And if I compare this here to my laptop's built-in keyboard, you can see it's roughly the same size. So I think this keyboard with the arrow keys, of course, you have to use the function for functions such as page up, page down, home, and end. But this will give you mostly all of the keys that you need as a typical daily user without having to need a full numpad. These dome-shaped keys are kind of unique. And overall, if you're traveling or you travel a lot and you need a Bluetooth keyboard that has a backlight built in, this has a white backlight built in. We've got a power button toggle here. So if we toggle this on, we can see that we get a white backlight. It's a little bit hard to see. Yeah, there it is. You can press the spacebar to activate. It activates and deactivates quite quickly to preserve that battery life. And right now it's blinking because we're not actually connected to any device here, but it can connect to 3 devices. We'll demonstrate that a little bit later here as well. In addition, for productivity's sake, Logitech says that they've added these extra keys. So you can see here, F7 is paired with an emoji key for that entry. So really very much modern and in touch with today's typists and type of stuff there. So we also have on the F6 key, there is a dictation button. And this will demonstrate later, also brings up Microsoft's dictation that's built into Windows. So you could speak to your computer and it will actually translate and enter the data for you that way. And of course, we've got our set of dedicated media keys and a delete button. I love how the delete button is kind of rounded at the ends to keep that rounded profile for all corners. Very much akin to how Apple does it with their Magic Keyboard as well. Similarly, on the left-hand side, the escape and control keys are also dome-shaped, or excuse me, rounded on the corners to keep the aesthetic, and a nice Logi branding that they've adopted in the last couple of years here. On the back of this device, not much to say, just this is the battery housing here, the built-in internal lithium-ion batteries in there. It charges via this single USB-C port here. You cannot use this in wired operation, as I stated earlier. So without further ado, let's get into the software and see how this device gets paired. All right, so let's demonstrate for you how to actually get this this keyboard paired with any device. In my case, I'll be showing this here with my laptop. I will swap between the screen as well as on the device here. So first things first, it's quite easy. We'll turn on the device using the button here. And we'll see that we get a green LED indicating that we have enough battery life. And one of these 3 buttons here will start to blink. So the way you initiate the process is by holding this down for 3 seconds. Make sure you press the function key. So you'll press function and let's say number 3. I'll hold it down for 1, 2, 3 seconds until the light starts to blink. This means it's now in pairing mode. And if I show you here on my desktop, and if I go here to my Bluetooth, I'll say add a Bluetooth device. And we can see here immediately it shows up MX Keys Mini. We'll click this. And now it'll ask us to enter this code on the keyboard itself. So let's swap over and do that. Don't worry, there won't be any display. You won't see anything. You won't see what numbers you're typing, but you'll just have to do that and press the enter key. So let me pop back up. We'll press enter here. And once you've entered those, be careful to enter it again. If you make a mistake, it's not a problem. It'll allow you to enter and type that again. So it's not a big deal. And then we'll just click done here. All right, so once we're paired here, you'll see that the keyboard starts to work. If I press start, I can do Alt Tab and so on. And it's starting to, I can use my keyboard just normally now. The other thing is when you do actually pair this keyboard, Logitech loves to force this software on you. I think it's actually a pretty good software here. So we're going to get this software installed and we'll run through some configuration settings and how you can customize this keyboard. So let's do that now. It's actually integrated quite well with Windows. Logitech works very closely with Microsoft, so you don't really need to go to their website or go find any drivers. And it's interesting because I already have the Logitech G Hub, but for whatever reason, some of these business-oriented devices, I believe it's trying to install for both my mouse and maybe my Logi keyboard. So this is the other keyboard here that's available in a larger size. If you need a full keyboard with a numpad, I like to use the Mini. It's even smaller than a TKL, which is 10 keyless keyboard without the numpad, but you still get the arrow keys and the set of home, page, page up, and down keys. Once installation is complete, Logitech will fire up here asking you to share data. You can accept or ignore, and you can also choose to optionally create an account. So here we are. Now we're in the Logitech Options software, and luckily it only detects the Logi brand devices, not my G604 mouse, 604 gaming mouse. For that, you need the Logitech G Hub. I would love for them to unify this at some point, but for now, it is what it is. So if we click this keyboard here, we'll see a little bit of an introduction, and it says here that there is an emoji key. So it really raves about that. So perfect. You press that. Of course, you can also access this by pressing Windows and the Windows key and period. So I'll demonstrate that here. Windows key and period also does the same thing. But alas, it's nice to have a dedicated key for that if you use emojis quite a bit. And then we have backlighting here. So we can adjust, as I mentioned, the backlight in 3 different levels. So, and you see this on screen display here. So backlighting is off. We've turned it on. Another level 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 levels of backlight. Okay. So generally, if you're pressing F1, F7, F11, any of these keys here, when you're using in a editor, or if you're doing F5 for refresh, you'll need to hit Fn and press F5. If you're more oriented to using the function keys and prefer to have them as locked instead of the actual action keys here, the shortcut keys, you can press function and escape, and you'll get this indicator on screen here, which means that you have function lock on, as meaning that those home row key or top row keys here will function as F1, F2, F3, etc. And of course, there's easy switch. You can just pair up to 3 devices and switch between it using your function and pressing or toggling any one of these keys here. And if we're using this as media keys, I believe we can remap some of these. Yeah. But we can also map this to smart actions, which can be created almost as macros. You can also create smart actions here and create triggers to do other kinds of things, launching an application or running some sort of system action. But, feel free to play with that if you want to. There are also, of course, some built-in actions here. You can do cut and paste, or for example, minimize window. If you're toggling between a lot of different windows, you can use that. Screen capture is one of the shortcuts here by default. You can use a lot of these different presets here to configure some of these keys. That's the F4 through the F12 keys, because of course the first 3 are reserved for toggling between paired devices. And if we go back here, you can also see that there's easy switch. So this one allows you to click on the button here and you can see which of these devices you are paired with and you want to connect to. And finally, there's settings here. So this will allow you to do a firmware update. Thankfully, Logitech provides a USB Type-C cable here, I believe 1 meter in length, so it's not going to be very long. But in order to do the firmware update, we'll need to connect this via USB-C. and it still stays connected in Bluetooth mode. So, and you can relaunch that feature tool here that gives you an introductory view of how this device works and how to use the keys. You can also lock these keys as standard function keys by toggling this on, so you don't need to keep pressing function plus escape if that's your mode of operation on a daily basis. And of course, they keep the keyboard in Windows layout. We want this to be in Windows layout. We're not on a Mac right now, but if you were, you can come and toggle this off, and you'll your function keys and your other keys will behave as Mac shortcuts. So that is nice to see there. Backlighting is on. Battery saving mode is also on below 10%. It's nice to see that. It'll just turn off the backlight so it lasts a little bit longer. Logitech states that with the backlight off, this will last a few months. I highly doubt that, but you can also disable the caps lock keys or the Windows Start key, for example, if you're in your game. So that's nice to see. If you go back to the MX Keys Mini here, it will show you by default the battery level, and it shows that it's connected via Bluetooth. All right, first thing we'll do is we'll pair it to my Android phone here. We'll hold down the number 2 key, and we'll see when it starts to blink like this. It's now in pairing mode. So we'll scroll down here and go into the settings on my phone. We'll go to Bluetooth devices, and we'll say pair new device, and there is the MX Keys Mini. We'll touch this here, and again, as we did with the laptop, it'll ask us to enter this code. So let me enter that here quickly. 0880, and we'll press enter. And it says, do you want to allow access to your contacts? I said no. It's up to you. You can allow them. I don't know what function that really provides, but we can see here now that we've got the MX30 is showing connected with 30% battery life. So it's certainly quite easy to get paired with your phone. So now that we have it paired, we'll show you, what pressing and Alt Tab here works just for switching windows, just like it would on your Windows device. I hope you guys can see that. Apologies if it's a little out of sync. All right, and to demonstrate that this works quite well, I'll repeat the same typing test I did on my desktop here, but this time on my my phone. Okay, so as you can see, it's quite actually easy to do data entry here. And if I do Alt Tab, I can switch between my different apps here. So it actually does work quite well. And pressing the option button here, depending on the launcher that you have set up, may or may not do anything. In my case, it doesn't do much. However, I can adjust the volume here. I know I can use these buttons to control the media volume on my phone. I can press escape here. If I press escape, I can use my media keys just as before to refresh my browser, for example, and so on. So it will reload the page. And of course, I can use these arrows keys to navigate as well if I want more precise navigation. So overall, a very good experience. And if I want to switch back to my desktop here, it's still active. I'll just hold down F3. Oh, my mistake. It's bringing up the function keys. There we go. And if I press F3, I'm now toggling and back to my desktop here. So a nice device. And of course, you can pick this up on sale. The price is actually quite reasonable. It's usually under $100 on sale. All right, so next things next, let's do a typing test for you guys before we'll show you how to pair another device. I'll pair my Android phone, and I'll show you how you can toggle between the two different devices and how well this actually works. So let's begin with a quick typing test here so you guys can hear how this keyboard sounds. Okay, so there you have it. That's a quick typing test here of the Logitech MX Keys Mini. For voice dictation, you can press that F6 button on your keyboard that that Logitech is touting. You'll get this Windows Speed Services. Keep in mind this submits data to Microsoft's online servers where it's then transcribed and returned back to your device. You'll need to be connected as well to do that. And now we'll hit this button here. So it gives us the shortcut, which is Windows H. Make sure that your cursor is in a place that actually can accept the text input before you do this. And we'll hit this button here. It's now beginning to listen. And as you can see here, as I'm speaking to you, it's beginning to transcribe the text into my notepad here. For whatever reason, I'm not sure what it's doing with the text. Looks like it's eating through it, but perhaps it's submitting and waiting for the full text to come back here before it fully transcribes everything into my notepad. So let's pause a moment and let's see how it's done. And there you have it. So for the most part, you can see here that you can definitely leverage this technology, but be careful if you're using this in an office environment or speaking sensitive data to your keyboard, to your laptop via the speed services. If it's being submitted to Microsoft servers, it could have potential privacy implications. So be sure you don't get into trouble from doing that. All right, so that'll about wrap it up here for the review of the Logitech MX Keys Mini. I think it's a very nice keyboard for travel or just for as a companion for your laptop, for your mobile devices, for your iPad or what have you. It can connect up to 3 devices. Nice to see that there's multi-device connectivity. However, the one downside is that at this price point, it can only be used as a Bluetooth device. I would love to have seen this as a tri-mode or a multi-mode device where you could use it in a wired mode as well as a wireless mode also. That doesn't seem to be the case here. I'm not sure why Logitech felt that that was a valid concession that they could make. But for under $100 to have voice dictation on board, have an emojis key dedicated, these unique dome-shaped keys that really help you to improve your typing experience, and a very thin and light package with a backlight here for office environments that is white. It's not too loud, it's not too noisy. I think is a fantastic keyboard for everybody to have on hand. Well, thanks very much for watching. Leave me a comment below what you think of this keyboard, or if there's another budget keyboard that's office oriented or perhaps generalized that I'd like to, or that you'd like for me to review, and I'll have a look at it. Thanks very much for watching. Please click the like and subscribe button if you like this kind of content to help this channel grow so we can continue to bring you additional content like this in the future. And we'll see you in the next video.